What do we got? Coffee Level Design Contest 2023 entry by Machinatoro Fan. Okay. Is KLDC entry? Go Kaleidoscope. That sounds cool. Kaleidoscope. Making me hungry. Okay. So basically, different disco waffles. Got it. Ow. Typical morsel indeed. His KLDC entry was interesting? Possibly. No, I did say Ursula. Someone said Ursula and I was confused. I don't remember mentioning her, but... thought maybe we'd be talking about Ursula Le Guin. Did Earthsea. But... oh yeah, the audio is a little bit too low. Oh yeah, I just noticed that the bars effect. That's really nice. Yeah, there's some good drum and bass on SMW Central. There's a couple nice ports of Unreal Tournament music. Or yeah, just the OG Unreal Tournament. Facing Worlds. Have some unfinished business with her involving a radium carbide. Interesting. I don't know what to say about that. I assume this is a reference to another game. Frankly speaking, I did not like fighting her in Kingdom Hearts anytime I came across her. And last time I played Kingdom Hearts, I felt exactly the same way. Nothing changed. What do you use my flash card? It's an SD to SNES. It's a somewhat older model. I'm still using the older FPGA. And I have a slightly older firmware revision because I like how the USB interface works a little bit better. I probably should try one of the more recent revisions to see if the there's less congestion on the interface now, because there was a problem with problem with the SA1's register file or something that was causing it to run slow, and I think the same thing could have been happening with the USB interface, because I think it was causing some congestion on a specific resource that I was using. But I haven't checked and I haven't felt the need to. I might regret picking this as the last level of the evening. That was not it. Yeah, there was a short period of time where there was a problem where, like, I don't remember the exact details, but it was causing SA1 to run slower than it should. And it was fixed a while ago, but I don't know off the top of my head. The version I have runs SA1 at the correct speed, at least more or less. But this is an old revision. I'm using the Red Guy's first USB to SNES code. I could upgrade. I have another card that is upgraded, and I probably should upgrade that one, because that's the one that has support for Super Game Boy stuff, which does work with USB to SNES, but I still haven't exploited in any reasonable way yet. You might have a problem with like that for the KLDC level. It's possible that they're using an older firmware or one of the not-so-great firmwares. If it happened at the very beginning of a level, I'd be willing to check it really quick. I don't have the KLDC things downloaded, but I have to go get that. But it wouldn't take me that long to load it up and see if the thing's happening on my firmware revision. Because I know mine runs at the appropriate speeds. At least close enough to... not an exact science. It's Lesh's entry? Okay. Radium carbides are used by AdMech. You can figure out their... yeah, I guess that makes sense. Extra dumb question. Any FPGA-style SNES hardware you can use a USB controller on? I mean, in theory, I don't know about that, honestly. Maybe the Super NT? Really exercise the SA1. I'm very curious now. If I manage to beat this in a reasonable amount of time or decide to give up, we can take a look. I have some limited debugging ability through this. For SA1, it really means that I can just, like, read some of the shared... I don't even know I can do shared from here. Oh, no, read doesn't do the translation stuff, does it? So... build a keyboard to SNES converter. That'd be kind of cool. So you can do all the typing you need to do on the SNES. I actually do own one of the weirder SNES controllers, the one that you can use for horse betting. But I haven't done any horse betting yet. Neither am I likely to, unfortunately. That's where I did it last time. Very hard, no checkpoints. No checkpoints, okay. Yeah, I saw Nitrogen's name and I'm like, maybe I should fear this. That's why we went with Dispace, because I'm like, Dispace's level's probably going to be easier than Nitrogen's. So I might give up early knowing that there's no checkpoints, or just cheat my way to the end really quick to see exactly how far I have to go. Like, I have respect for Nitrogen from other level design contests. Respect also means a small amount of fear about levels. But, like, this is literally just learn cycles, jump right. And never let go of A. Okay, that was just dumb. Level stuff is visually interesting, but no checkpoints. Yeah, I don't know why people like to do that. Like, I appreciate good checkpoint placement. It saves everyone a lot of time. I don't remember any of Nitrogen's other levels being, like, really painful and lacking checkpoints, so it's kind of odd. It's not bad so far, but I imagine that the further I get into this... I thought maybe if I did a regrab thing there. Every platform needs a checkpoint. Absolutely. Like, if you ever waste a jump, you should just be able to rewind and try right over. No reason you should ever waste a moment. But no, like, just in general, I don't want to spend, you know, 3 minutes playing an auto-scroller and then another 3 minutes playing an auto-scroller without a checkpoint between the two. There we go, that's the jump there. Okay. Want to go over or go under? Calm down, Maddie. That's one thing I can say that's nice about Maddie Allegedly's design sense is the abundance of checkpoints. Not quite every single jump, but there's an awful lot. Stop doing that. Like, I'm not even sure I would have put a checkpoint already in this. Like, I don't feel bad about how I'm doing. Like it because it saves time. Just depends. Yeah, the obstacles are difficult, but well executed, so you don't really mind it. Now for some absolutely silly reason, I've got every sperm is sacred stuck in my head. Maybe go all Web 1.0 and write a silly web-based parody. Every checkpoint, every platform is checkpointed. I don't know, probably wouldn't be very good. Doesn't really scan right. I'm still not certain I'm doing that one right. Okay, got past that part. Alright, so I have to slide for this one. Okay, that wasn't bad. Ears are itching like crazy. Had them waxed? Oh, wait, what? No check? Oh, right, okay. Alright, well, that sucks. Yeah, that door would have been a nice place, but I guess that's kind of like Nitrogen's deal nowadays, isn't it? Because, like, made that, what was it? It was that, like, really long, single-level thing I saw Risen and some other people playing, like, a year ago. I did! I really did! I expected a checkpoint at the door, because that's usually how doors work in this game. Like, okay, cool, now I can relax and I can learn this next section. No. I've never waxed my nose or ears. No, I must confess that is not something I've needed to do. The impossible game without checkpoints. Speaking of... If you want to play the impossible game, Sweet Dude ported it to SMW, and with SMW flair and Sweet Dude flair, it is a unique experience, and I would recommend it. I was revisiting that thought because I was looking at the Doom 2 VODs the other day. I was like, oh yeah, that's why I played Doom 2. Because I hurt my hand playing that impossible game. Alright, like... not difficult. Alright, cool. What the hell's that thing? Oh, it's a shell. Would've been cool to learn that a little bit earlier. No, well... yeah, of course he would do it. Must be a Middle Eastern thing, so you don't get long hairs. I suppose that makes sense. Overworld by Sweet Dude. Earwaxing reminds you of Shrek. I could see that. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to do this one now. Like, the way it's set up, it's really hard to make good inferences about what's going to happen next, what you need to do next. Frequently. And there's no place to just take a moment and relax. You always need to be holding a button. Like, I get it. And I definitely wouldn't mind it if I got a checkpoint at that door. But I don't know if I want to do this one part over and over until I actually master it. I might leave this one for later and or choose to cheat on it. Because I was hoping for like another maybe 20-30 minute long one. I don't think this is going to be a 20-30 minute long one. I think this will be like a 2-hour long one if I do it legit. Possibly more. And then the years start coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. Man, I cannot believe how much they lucked out with that song. It was in like 4 different movies. The credits for like 4 different movies. Like, what was it? Rat Race, Shrek, and Mystery Men. Like, seriously, Smash Mouth got like the best early 2000s payday from that stuff. Told Tweed about my death markers, he was shook. I think it's one of the coolest features. Yeah, they're kind of fun. Oh. The best, you say? Well, that's a good way to, like, rest my hand for a minute. Hello, Cynthia Cat. How you doing? What's up, Jetty? Thank you for the raid. What are you up to? What were you up to? Hope it was a good stream. Hello, Mai the Snail. Oh, yeah, the background has gotten screwed up. That happens with Layer 3 sometimes. Thank you for the good luck. How you doing, Hocus Pocus and Evil Admiral Kiwi and Creamy? Doing Kaizo Beginner-a-thon? Oh, that's fun. Let me clear the message box. Oh, and thank you for the follow. We got Pocus. How's CLDC going? Oh, pretty good until I reach this. This level has no checkpoints. So you have to do everything perfect the whole way through, and I don't know how long it is. So I don't know how long I'm going to stick at this, but I'll at least try for a bit. I was going to see how a certain KLDC level was performing on my specific SD2SNES firmware. So, as an explanation, I'm playing on my childhood SNES, but I'm using the SD2SNES. What? So those are shells, but they're also death? Ah, damn it. Chat box is cute. Oh, thanks. I'd like to take all the credit for it, but I wrote the HTML and the JavaScript that runs it all. I did not write the CSS. I have a lot of tech going on. So, for instance, the message boxes actually do pop up in game for alerts, because way back in the day when Twitch used to have a way worse dashboard, they wouldn't actually send you useful alert notifications on it. They would just send them to your email, and I'm like, well, that sucks. I want to see when they show up, and so I put them up on the screen so I would read them. It's worked pretty well for me. The best. Change characters not work? I'll take a look in a second because I got distracted. It's a level where there's just no rest. Very calming background. Yes, it is. Funniest pop culture song in a movie, in the new Asterix movie that had Spin Me Around. How odd. Change characters. Weird. Oh, yeah, you want a dumb shit here. Give me a sec. There we go. There's another trick we have here. I can load up different character sprites at runtime and change them on the fly. I don't know why people like dumb shit so much. This is like a mixture of a bunch of different SMW sprites from just on SMW Central. It looks really weird. Furalicious made it. He's made several sprites for this, actually. Usually modifications of Mario. But this is one that people really like for some reason. There's a lot of good ones. There's Knuckles in there now. Got Madeline and Badeline and a bunch of other notable characters, but somehow I end up with this abomination. Dumb shit is indeed fun. What's up, Howloot? How you doing? The background is really nice. Yeah. What's up, Legend of Kirby? How you doing? How much longer am I planning on streaming? A little bit. I'm not entirely sure. I still have work tomorrow and things. Need not break my sleep schedule too badly. PAX is this weekend, and I need to get up want to get up relatively early to get to it. Actually, about playing Diagonal Mario. I have Diagonal Mario too. Really cool. Oh, thanks. How you doing, Astro Katsy? Thank you for the follow. I like the way the background breaks. I don't know why that happens, but layer 3, the popping up message boxes and levels that don't expect it break things on layer 3 frequently. And there must be some layer 3 nonsense going on with this background, would be my best guess. But I'm not going to hook up a debugger and find out, because I don't care enough. How was Final Fantasy V? It was good, I finally beat it. I finished the Fiesta earlier, just a couple, 2 hours ago. I was doing a 4-job Fiesta, which is a thing for Final Fantasy V, where you restrict yourself to a certain number of jobs, 4, and only use those jobs. And I had Zerker, Knight, Hunter, and Mimic, which was interesting early game, but kind of became a slog, as it was basically like just, we'll just kill things by murdering them to death. Lots of punching in the face and whatnot. And the Zerkers always make things a little more challenging just by Zerkering. Oh, I forgot to slide. But it wasn't too bad. Yes, I am a nerd. Absolutely. Person spins around for 2 seconds and you spin right. Thought it was that way on purpose. No, the bars aren't. The messing up the bars is not. Do not like the naked turtles. They're not ideal. Rosie. Oh, thank you for the follow. Yeah, Rosie's a nice one. I think SimFan made this one, if I'm not mistaken. Got a couple other of his sprites. There's one I need to go and finish some work for, but I finally put in the work to make that less obnoxious, actually. I should just go do it. A little bit of Python code on my side, but I finally automated the process of pulling sprite colors and out of sprite packages on SMW Central, because I was getting tired of doing it manually when I wasn't given a ROM that already had the character in it, which is kind of the trick for getting new characters. One of the tricks I have for getting new characters is just easier if I have a BPS. Literally have a script that just grabs the character out of it and goes. So I love it when people provide a ROM that already has the character in it, because I can just use that. Or a BPS. Not a ROM. We don't upload ROMs to SMW Central. Never, ever, ever upload ROMs to SMW Central. Not even ones you made yourself. ROMs are bad. Say no to ROMs, kids. That jump is the hardest part there. I'd like to see door 3, but I'm not optimistic I'm going to get it anytime soon. Help you out because you're stuck at some point? Oh, sure, I can help you. You describe it. Attempts at a Sora sprite? That'd be kind of cool to see. Why not? Sorry, which thing was why not? I lose track of context fairly quickly, and sometimes just because I'm reading a bunch of chat, trying to play Mario, and talk about technical stuff at the same time. Forgot I need to slide. Okay, here's where we died last time. Oh, glad I didn't die to that. Okay, another slide. No! I dropped it. Oh, because you got sued by Nintendo. Yeah, you don't want to have those. You have copyright law. Yeah. You don't want to do that. We just don't allow for it. So, the basic idea is we kind of shield ourselves from a certain amount of liability by only offering patches, which are the sort of the delta between SMW and the hack you want to play. And so by only having those around, we don't really ship as much copyrighted material, and therefore hopefully stay under the Nintendo lawyer radar. Whether or not this works in practice, I don't know if it's actually a proven legal theory, but it seems like a good idea. And there's just an awful lot of like lawyer bots looking at websites trying to find files that match certain hashes. So your BPSs won't do that. It's a little bit safer that way. Just a little bit. You know, I probably would really like this level if it had a checkpoint. That's 2. Alright, we gotta see what's behind door number 2. Oh no. I don't want to do this now. My interest in this level has immediately sunk to a new low. How long could this be? Like, I can't even see what I'm supposed to do next. Nope. Yep. Apologies, I will catch up on chat once I'm done not falling off these. Or I'm done falling off, I suppose it's more likely. It's warning me about... Well, that's that run. Yeah, upload patches. Nintendo doesn't really want our money. Very possibly. Very possibly. Never upload ROMs anyway. There's an easy way to get yourself erased. Same with making profit. Don't make profits in hacks. Bad idea. Backwards compatibility would be a lot better on Switch. It would be nice. Not legal advice, I'm not your lawyer. As long as you don't have any Nintendo copyrighted content in a BPS, you're good. I mean, the idea is you end up like... BPSs are really a more clever patching format because they can also grab chunks of the ROM and sort of move them around, whereas IPSs weren't. But even so, people, by rearranging things, can occasionally end up sneaking in some copyrighted stuff, but it's probably not enough that Nintendo's going to start suing anybody. Again, this is not legal advice, I'm not your lawyer, etc, etc, etc. What's up next, Alice? How you doing? That's so Mario. Got a perfect port of Fire Emblem in your patch? Yeah, that's been a problem sometimes. Every BPS is copyright material due to the fork conversion. That's true, actually. So it's only a certain amount. It's not quite a compression format, but it's pretty clever. Download so many DS games, it's shocking. Yeah, DS games are surprisingly, like some of the 3DS games are surprisingly large. But yeah, if you have a specific question about Final Fantasy V or like a boss you're having trouble getting past, feel free to ask. I know a lot. There's other people in chat who also might know a lot too. But worst comes to worst, and this is the thing I can tell you in the event that you're really stuck. If you need a specific like weird job class combination thing to get past a specific boss, the best resource you can have for that is this guy named Sula's website. Sula with 3 L's. Sulla. It looks like it came straight out of the year 1998 because it kind of did. But he has beaten Final Fantasy V with a single character, single class for every single class except White Mage, and technically Berserker because he didn't want to spend his time grinding at Neo X Death forever. Because Berserkers are awful at Neo X Death. But that aside, there's a lot of good advice and tips and tricks from there that you can actually apply in weird variant runs. Like most 4-job Fiestas, if you're ever stuck on a boss, there's a good answer somewhere in there about how to deal with your problem. He is a not unclever man. And he writes very well. I believe he has like a PhD in history. So. Use ZSTD for delta patches. I've never done any of the other patching formats, but I know for like BPSs don't scale up well. So like I know there's X Delta and a few other ones that are better for CD-based games because BPS patches over a certain size just don't really work all that well. Gonna beat this? No, I'm not going to. A little bit of infringement. You're probably fine. Yeah, I didn't play much 3DS either. Bad for you to show me than tell you. Easy for you to show you and then tell you. Yeah, sure, if you have a link, just drop it. Or if you know what boss specifically or location. It'd be easier for me to know. BPS is just LZ with 2 read heads. Yeah, that's not unreasonable, actually. It's not unreasonable. But yeah, I think the default tools just do not handle large files very well. I'm actually kind of curious how long this level is. So we can find out if we'd like to, because I have some tricks up my sleeve for such things. So after this attempt, we're going to cheat a bit. Why does it show X's? Okay, so here's how this works. I can take a quick look, I guess. Let's see. Don't use PC for anything, using a stupid entertainment system emulator for Final Fantasy V? Okay. Interesting. So here's the trick. So I'm playing on the SD to SNES, and I've got a USB port on there. So I'm constantly reading out various values and being able to set various values that I want. So here's another trick. Yeah, that's all the places I've died. So they're just like Mario Maker, just not quite as ideal. So let me show you another cool trick. And only enable load always. Okay. So here's another trick. So now I have a cape. Capes make most things easier. But this is a forever cape. So now I've loaded up some code onto the SNES that runs in perpetuity and sets 19 to 2. The value at 19 controls your power-up state. And as long as it's stuck at 2, you'll never lose your cape. So here's how I can cheat through this. I'm just kind of curious how long it is. Like, after that third room, having to learn the third room, I don't know how interested I am in continuing all the way to the end, but I do want to see it. And in the event the cape isn't enough, I have other simple tricks up my sleeve. I don't use these too often, but for the express purposes of cheating. But as a modder in SMW Central, occasionally I don't want to have to deal with certain problems. So for instance, if a hack doesn't have enough infinite lives or something and I'm dying a lot, I'll add lives. Or if there's something very specific I want to check. Actually, this level, we're going to do something silly here, is water level 1. So, now it's a water level. Gotta bail. Alright, see you later, Cynthia Cat. Thank you very much for the raid. Gotta cook? Nice, I hope you're enjoying making something tasty. What mod are we moderating? We're just playing CLDC level. This is Nitrogen CLDC level. I forgot Nitrogen really likes making long and very difficult stuff. I'm also not certain what I would have done here. Like this specific jump, I don't know exactly what I'd do other than like try to rush it maybe? I don't know. That was, like right here was my PB. I died trying to make this jump to this thing right here. Need forever cape in the real life? Yes. Might sound complicated, but SMW Central is going to save your butt here. Documentation? Yes. It has a lot of good documentation. The RAM map is invaluable. The ROM map is very useful. The tooling there is very useful. There's a few things that aren't easily toolable, but as you can see, like I wrote an awful lot of this with knowledge for SMW Central or reading one of the disassemblies. I forget which one. All right, so that third room is the end of it. That's not too bad, actually. Okay. Is the Animal Crossing a spread on my end? It's not including the hack, no. No, it is dead. Yeah, it will be dead now. So let me unload that. Unload always. Let me spell it. Unload, right? Always keep. Kill. This is one of my other favorite tools. But no, the Animal Crossing sprite is off SMW Central. I think SimFan made it. He made, I think, a few different ones. I've got another, like, one from... He made a few different ones. He made another Animal Crossing one I have, too. It's a orange cat whose name I've forgotten. There's a lot of them if you look at the channel point reward thing that changes these. I usually try to implement some silly things if I can, but don't always quite get around to it. Not having the time or energy necessarily to do it. But knowing there's only 3 rooms has invigorated me, because Nitrogen does, like, I don't know, 50 room hacks sometimes. He is known for a bit of excess. But really cool level design, just a lot of excess. So now I'm willing to at least stick it out a little bit further. We'll see if I beat this tonight, though. I don't know. That disappearing rope section is not my favorite of gimmicks. But yeah, it would have been really nice to have a checkpoint between doors. Oh, I landed on the triangle. Medium Kaizo. Sounds like you. Yeah, I could see that. I think you like checkpoints a bit more, HeroSoft. Just a bit. Making Mario sprites is a lot of work. It depends. There's a few ways to do it that makes your life a lot easier. So, MM102 made a tool for making Mario sprites that people like using. You also have the option, if you want, to instead of working within the constraints of Graphics 32, you can get the 32 by 32 graphics sprite, which I know there's a lot of 32s, bear with me. But basically what it lets you do is treat Mario more like a flip book. Every individual pose becomes an individual image, and you can just use that. And people frequently do when they just want to make a custom sprite as a one-off because it's a lot easier. Like Faro's a big fan of it now. Donut. Who's the other guy who had the Fish level? It was Donut and somebody. I forget, but they used that for Fish and other like Mario edits. Which reminds me, I really should pick up my collator thing and get it back to work. Because I had one that worked for a while on NES, and I had one that worked on SNES, but I've lost the SNES one because I was working out of temp or something stupid like that. So I could take the 32 by 32 graphics and turn them into a graphics 32. I did that for Toadette, but I never actually finished the work that was really necessary by handling various transformations. So, what does turn on ads do? It turns on fake ads that people bought. Just various ads for things like Cool Spot or Daiso and Faro hacks. It's a silly thing. I did it for April Fool's Day. Okay, you're streaming now? Alright, I'll take a quick look. Okay, so you're in Hiryu Valley. Okay, I see Hiryu Valley. I guess if you're fighting the Hiryu plant, it's the there are some tricks you can do for that thing. Yep, you can play as Toadette. I have normal sized Toadette. It's not perfect. It's got some problems because I didn't do the flipping, but still making Mario. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I didn't make any of these sprites. I am very lazy. Almost all of these I've gotten are off SMW Central or have been sent to me. So. There's a few others that are weird, but... mostly come from there. You could use... if you want, I'll send you the Graphics 32 and palette. Like, they're not perfect. But they work well enough. And if I ever get around to making the correct one... I mean, I guess Toadette's fine, because Toadette's based off Mario. I guess not, if you don't use Cape. If you don't use Cape, it's fine. That was it. There's some stuff that's messed up with Cape, but Cape frequently messes up. But that's how it goes. But the ads... so every April Fool's Day, I try to claim that I'm changing my format entirely to something silly. And a couple April Fool's Days ago, I said I was only going to do advert gaming. And so I made this ad platform that people could buy ads on. And played like Sneaking and Yaris by Toyota and Doritos Dash of Destruction, Cool Spot, those sorts of things. And I've kept the ad thing around because people seem to like it. Be safe, you could put new Super Mario Brothers sprites. That'd be kind of cool. Hit yourself enough that you'll draw a Mario sprite without the 32x32. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate those. They're a lot nicer. But if you want to do that, you should look into the MM102 tool because it's really good. So, it showed up a few C3s ago. I don't know if he's got it advertised anywhere else, though. Oh, I jumped when I went not looking. You don't mind, did you not make anything right now? That's fair. I need to get to work on a few different things. I never get around to finishing projects. I've been working on too many projects. Just way too many projects. Not to mention work stuff. I spent a while trying to track down a weird bug involving a third-party system where some write is just not going through, and I don't know why. And it's not like it's a complicated write. It's literally writing the number of months in, which is really dumb. So... got in the door. Get into the Koopa. Okay, so... I am listening, but I don't hear your... I don't know what your query is about Final Fantasy V. Might just be easier to type it down, because I just don't know where you're stuck. I can give you hints for the Hear You plant, if that's what's killing you, but if you're this far out, you're probably not at the plant yet. The plant's actually pretty easy to manage if you have any amount of AoE damage. Like, Titan would do a good job there. Because the main thing to do is, like, kill the main plants, because the main plant doesn't do anything but revive the small plants, and the small plants are things that actually damage you and do various status effects. The status effects are bad. Damn it. Exit the level. Time Mage and Summoner. Yeah, Summoner's great. Do that. You can also, like, use Slow. If you don't have Slow or Slow 2, you should definitely get those. The Hear You plant's weak to Slow 2, I think. Give you more than enough time. So, the only thing I'd say that you might want to do if you're having trouble with the plant is watch your timing. So, like, always cast your spells right as the plants come up, because then you won't have to worry about the plants having a turn. So, that would be my best advice to you. I mean, you're also in World 3... Now, you wouldn't have access to the level 3 spells yet, because you're only at the Dragon Valley. So, yeah, I would say just, like, with Time Mage, haste, slow, and spam Titan. And you shouldn't have any trouble with the Hear You plant. And just run from things. Like, stuff in the Hear You Valley kind of hits like a truck, but doesn't give you a lot of good rewards. Advertise your OnlyFans? No. So, like, for the ads, I actually do verify by site what people are advertising, what the ad looks like, and what the URL goes to. And so, in the event that someone did something unseemly, I would say no. It would not be in rotation. But pretty much nobody's done anything dumb. Everything people have advertised is reasonably fine in my book. So... try to order an internet content or contract. Found something the reasonable price, booked it, and then info the price shifted. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Should be illegal. Anyway, I hope my Final Fantasy V advice helps. That's as much useful information as I can really give about that section. If you're having trouble. Ow. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making the ad thing. I ended up rolling it like a day or so. It doesn't do everything it needs to. Like, there's a common acronym used in software development that describes this class of application called a CRUD app, where it's basically a front end to a database. It's, you know, create, read, update, destroy, or delete. And it doesn't really do most of those things. It creates, it reads, it doesn't update or destroy, or delete. That'd be too much work. So, also for the April Fool's Day and only the April Fool's Day, you could buy an extra sound to play with your ads. So there was the "Congratulations, you won," and there was another one that I don't want to say aloud, but it cost $100 to buy an ad with that sound, so nobody was going to do it. But it was from an old shock site. It's not actually bad. I just don't want to get anyone in trouble. So. Oh, you can't open the door. Oh, okay. There's a. I get what you're at. Okay. So after you get pretty deep in the valley, there should be some bone things. There should be an earth. Like you go and look at some bones and talk to them, and there'll be an earthquake. And then you'll be able to go into another door. If you're having trouble with the area inside the door, there's a trap door you need to trigger. And if you can't find it easily, switch someone to Geomancer for a minute, and you'll be able to see it, because Geomancers can naturally see trap tiles. Trapdoor tiles. Or maybe Thief. Maybe Thief will do that. Any single streamers in your area? Get Flash is pretty offensive. I like Flash! Like, as a developer, I miss Flash and Flash games because it was such an easy way for creative types to be able to create things without knowing too much about programming. And there hasn't been a really good replacement. Like, you can't really make easy Flash HTML5 games in the same way you can make an easy Flash game. You know, you give a high schooler a book about Flash and access to the tooling, and by the end of the day, they'll have made Pong or created a funny animation or something. You can't do that with HTML5. Not in the slightest. Like, this isn't bad. Okay. So this part is tricky. You're at the door? Okay, yeah, there's a tile about 2 steps to your upper right. I don't remember exactly which tile it is, but there's a trap door there. And you'll fall through, and then you can go press the button to open the door. There you go. Yeah, I can see why you wanted me to show me. That should help you. Let me close that, because it's confusing me to hear. Hidden pathways, Geo. Yeah, those things are. Oh, okay. Well, is a trapdoor a hidden pathway? Yeah, no, that's an easy one to miss if you don't know what you're doing. Game Maker is easy and not free. Yeah, I remember playing some Game Maker once back in the day. Like, someone had like a really lousy Red 13 game I downloaded from some GeoCities website, and I played that for a bit. And it was like a really decent, it was click and play. Commander Keen game that someone made, fan game. But Commander Keen is its own, like, hill of beans in terms of interesting, like, fan content. There was a game everyone was waiting to come out for like, years, called Secret of ISIS 7 or something, that I think eventually ended up dying. I don't know if he released his own engine, or released the source for the engine. As an awful lot of fan efforts do. But it's nice that Carmack and company do not care about Commander Keen enough to, like, sue anybody about doing anything. Though I think Bethesda owns Commander Keen now, so maybe they would. I don't know. It's weird. Go. Guess I'm getting good enough at... Oh yeah, you can just jump the gun there. I don't know why I'm waiting. I'm getting good enough at this that I actually might finish this level. Never mind. Undertale and Deltarune are? Yeah. If you want to use HTML, you gotta pay extra and need a license for exporting projects. That's not ideal. True about Flash, you really gotta abuse the end. Guess we have now mobile games. Yeah, Flash was way better than the mobile games. Like, because most Flash games, at least, you know, were more shareware model if you paid for them at all. And there were some, like, really good games that were made originally in Flash. Sup, Noah? How you doing? That was another April Fool's Day thing. I claimed that that only no one cared about anything but like weeaboo or like anime stuff and VTubers. And so I hooked up Hatsune Miku as my TTS, which, believe it or not, is not the easiest thing to do. And played one of the Neptunia games for a while. That was fun. I also had the prior year where I played Broken Reality and came up with the world's worst TTS machine. Like, that was just, that was terrible on all fronts. It didn't work consistently. It had problems with large numbers. It sounded like soup after, like, the fifth syllable. But it was absolutely perfect for a Vaporwave game. So, Broken Reality 2000 coming out soon. I'm definitely going to play that one. Godot's making some advances here and there. That's fair. Unity is aggressively bad. Yes, it is. Yeah, I don't make any... You want that TTS again? I think I saw the stuff to make it happen. Or was that on the prior machine? Yeah, I actually don't know if I have all of the stuff to make that happen now. I might not have the terrible TTS. So, if you've ever seen the Angry Video Game Nerd video about the Intellivision, I think it was, there's a specific game he plays called B-52 Bomber, where he busts out this Mattel voice synthesis module for the Intellivision. And, yeah, so the synthesis I found was that, effectively. Turns out the guys who made B-52 Bomber put some serious work into making that thing sound remotely good. Even though it still doesn't sound very good, it sounds way better than an untuned version of that. Like, seriously. It is terrible. But the thing I did that with, I had to like spend some time doing Windows message passing again. I haven't done that in a while. And it was very unreliable, in part because the application that actually handled the voice synthesis was written as a WinForms thing and didn't handle WinForms stuff properly. You're not supposed to hang the message thread on any long-running process. And it did, which made it very unpredictable as to when I'd be able to do another TTS. Had to wait for it to come back to real existence, and I think it crashed like 3 or 4 times during the stream, and it was a pain to get back up and running. Because I think I had to like manually kill it. But I might be remembering it as worse than it was. Woo! Game Maker teaches you how to do things. How so? The TTS? Okay. I can tell you a little bit of how that worked. The TTS was rigged up to yet another node on my web client or my WebSocket bus. And so that stuff worked pretty normally, but then I had to go and use the message passing stuff. So in Windows, whenever you do anything with a window, you're sending some sort of message. So for instance, mouse move, key up, key down, focus, draw. All these things get sent to Windows. And I guess what a window is actually becomes kind of tricky to describe because everything is actually a window that you see. The button is a window, the window is a window, the menu is a window. Everything's really kind of a window control in Windows because Windows kind of like the base class of anything in Windows, if that makes sense. If you're curious about how this works, I would recommend going and downloading Spy++ from Sinofsky's like package of power tools and playing around with it. Right, I can't run into those. And to see how the various Windows classes actually interact and what messages they send. But basically what I did was I made it interact as if I was sending mouse events and keyboard events and to type manually into the C# thing. Not quite as bad, because I think I was using a text box. You can manually set the text in a text box from another program. But still, it was not remotely robust. And I built the whole thing like the day before and didn't spend much time testing it. So if I do play Broken Reality, I'll bring back the TTS for that. But not anytime soon because the Miku would be very confused and irritated if I tried to do both. And it also doesn't work that well with my new system now that I think about it. It would be tricky to work with. I wonder if there's a way to redirect the output of audio output of an application to a file. Because that would make my life a lot easier. Maybe it wouldn't matter. I probably should just play the game with headphones and that would solve the problem. Feel like you've been bogged in add music for 40 minutes. Then again, it's just shifting. Yeah, frequently. The key thing about computer science is all things can be solved with an additional layer of abstraction. You just need to know where it is. And frequently do. Okay, there we go. Go across. Want at least another shot at the middle, or the final section. If I want to try, I'm gonna need to do that. So many slopes. Forgot the stream is live. I'm pretty sure it's still live. If it's not still live, I've made a mistake somewhere. If this is a recording, you are hearing, I am now dead. Avenge me. It might have been the Hamburglar. Try and find out about that, please. Yeah, like, no individual trick in this section is all that difficult now. I just need to not, like, fall off. Bodging things together with auto hotkey. Yeah, similar concept. Very similar concept. Utterly hate Windows tools. I could see that. Once you get used to having access to like Bash, it becomes really hard to go back to using Windows stuff. I'm using a Mac, not because I love the Mac, but because it's good enough in both domains of having a good windowing system and not being Linux, and giving me access to Unix underpinnings when I need them. In fact, by memory usage, the most application I was using was actually is an iTerm. Though in part that was because I was dumb and forgot that I'd been pinging a server for like 6 months without limiting my scroll back. That was kind of dumb in retrospect. But after clearing that, I eliminated 26 gigabytes of RAM usage. And everything started running a bit nicer. It's still sitting at about like a gig of RAM usage. Because I probably should fix my scroll back, because there's an awful lot of things that have long-running processes that have logs, like the WebSocket servers. But it doesn't affect me for my daily life, so... Gotta go. Alright, see you later, Next House. I hope I got that right. But I think there's actually a certain elegance in the way Windows handles the windowing part, once you really understand it. And in fact, most of the way that it's done isn't all that different from any other windowing system. If you were to pull up Smalltalk and get embroiled in Squeak, it's more or less the same ideas in message passing and all that. JavaScript has some of the same ideas with its handlers. It's very explicit. Ever mess around with voice attack? No. The only two TTS things I've messed with were that weird voice synthesis thing I told you about. Oh, no, 3. I've messed with 3 of them. The other one I'm using is Miku, and setting up Miku took some doing. That one's tricky, in part because she doesn't speak English. The English she speaks is kind of a simulated phenome thing, which almost works, but isn't great. There are versions of Vocaloids that actually do support English. I just didn't pick that one. I'm using Vocaloid 2, and I have a legit copy. Core of Windows is completely fine. The problem is it's been extended for 25 years by extremely questionable methods that have immediately grandfathered in. Yeah. No, an awful lot of things in the like Windows 98 subsystems are not ideal. The NT underpinnings are actually kind of nice. NTFS is actually a pretty decent file system. Things like that. Now, I actually got to meet Mark Zibikowski at one point. Was involved in a class he taught, which was kind of fun. Had a lot of good war stories about Windows in the early days. Not to mention some of the like ways they handle extension to the API by having reserved parameters that are never used. And every once in a while I'll like be in a Windowsy mood and I'll name a function that extends some other function something EX because that's fun. But it doesn't happen too often these days. Take offense to that. NTFS is not good by any metric. That's one of those ones where like I would be willing to have an argument with someone about that in real life, but I don't think I'm willing to have an argument with someone about that on Twitch. because the technical details actually do get bogged down for a while. And I know enough about NTFS to actually make a decent argument back, unlike the average person, because I have worked with it in the past at a reasonably low level. But do some great things with a given time, probably. The other ones I've dealt with, tried to get Windows 98 to do TTS, but it had problems with not being able to cancel. And so if people wanted to spam fruit at it, it did not work all that well. I think I only used that once or twice, though. The Windows 98 integrations are pretty much stuck at, like, reset the computer and open the CD-ROM tray, and I don't think I'll ever have anything much more complicated than that. But I do like the open the CD-ROM tray one. Into the door. Not being entirely serious, you've seen too many NTFS partitions get randomly corrupted. Can I use the mushroom? What mushroom? Yeah. It really depends. I saw an awful lot of system checks that were often caused by people doing really dumb things like resetting in the debugger. But again, it's a complicated whole thing about how the corruption is even handled. I do not want to get into the technical details. I gotta remember that I can do that. Dang it. There's a cheaty mushroom? What? Also, how you doing, Max? I did not and have not seen a mushroom. In my item box? Oh, there is a cheaty mushroom in my item box. Yeah, it's probably from the always cape thing. Or wait, has it always been there? Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I completely spaced on that. Yeah, I thought that was a residual from my my cape adventure. I'm not at all... Well, yeah, why not? You know, that makes a lot more sense. Given what I know about, like, Nitrogen's really long hack that gives you, like, a mushroom or two, and you get to choose how you do it, how do you use it. Do I get a mushroom per room? A mushroom room policy? Not that it helped much in the last room. There's no places to take damage. No, you get one per attempt. Okay. Yeah, I'm not convinced the mushroom is going to end up helping me all that much, but it doesn't hurt. Did not even notice it till this moment, honestly. I don't use my item box that much. When moderating, I try to just live off the land and don't frequently look in my item box to invoke it. But that's another hill of beans. Another shot at it. Nope, no more shot at it. Never saw that. Gonna get it this time. There's a reason why I don't put up, like, Twitch predictions for that kind of thing. They don't tend to go well. I'm kind of curious what the time is. Oh, hey, I forgot. I have a clock right in front of me that I put right in front of me mostly for this purpose. Well, that and it tells me what temperature it is outside. I really like that clock. Alright, it's 3:40. I might have to call this one and come back to it later. Because it is fun. Like, there's something about this kind of difficulty aesthetic, I don't know, that is sort of like, I really want to beat this. And knowing there's only 3 rooms helps a lot. The only problem I have is I have no idea how I actually would get past the disappearing rope section. It didn't do Antobago. That's not right. Here, let me fix it. What? That didn't work? I pressed the desu button. That adds a desu. That usually kicks it into doing the right thing. I have 3 commands when it comes to TTS. I have cancel, I have replay, and I have desu, which adds a desu on the end and often kicks the transliterator when it decides to lose a word or something. Don't know why it didn't work this time. Try one more time. Not into it. Maybe I broke something. Let me find another shorter TTS and press the desu button to make sure it's still working. It's possible, because I went and refactored some of the chat code a little while ago. And maybe I broke the desu button. Whee! Okay, let me test this. Let's see, where do I have a TTS? I don't want to replay the all-star thing. Here we go, test. That should work. Yeah, that works. Emoji to word thing is slightly broken. I can kind of see... Oh, you know what? I think you're right. I think I see what the problem is. It's got some weird underscore thing going on, and so the stemming is probably not working right. I swear someone's made that work before, but maybe I've just been thinking about Aura spam. It's really easy to misremember, you know, TTS spam whenever you're in, if you've ever been to Orator's stream and learned about his Alabama beach house. I wasn't sure about that jump. Now I am. R. Silence Club. Do love Silence Club. Okay. No! Ah! You know how people put up with TTS when let anybody do it? I mean, in my case, I have the option of pulling it out and I'm not hearing it. So the way this works, yet another text story. I have a WebSocket bus that handles an awful lot of things. And so when I need to play a sound, or in this case actually TTS, the TTS actually produces on a hard drive a WAV file of the text-to-speech. And then it's played in various places by using the things that are attached to the WebSocket bus that care about that message. And so like the chat to your right, the chat you see to your right actually isn't the thing that plays it. There's a chat underneath it that does. One that doesn't have the hack name. But still, it's the same code that runs more or less. But it also rigged up to my personal chat client that I'm seeing to my left, and it sets it up so that I can hear the message as well. It doesn't work perfectly, but it allows me to shut up when I'm listening to the text-to-speech at least. More or less. And if I got tired of a text-to-speech message, I could just take the earbud that I'm listening to it on out. So... Don't watch Aura because that Oat stream is nice to people who do good TTS messages. That I can appreciate. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like a good tomato. You know, that's what I was about to say, and that was perfect timing, honestly. Yeah, Miku supports both Japanese and English. If you give her something in Japanese, she'll read it better, because she's Japanese. There was another headache with that where I needed to, because I do everything in Python, get a 32-bit version of Python that would behave with Miku. Yeah, feel free to keep trying. Oh, the last try of this? I'm not quite done yet. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But I might need to call in the towel. It is already getting to be about 3:49. Yeah, it just rolled over. Tomato, potato, Trinidad and Tobago. Admire the dedication. Oh, this is nothing. I haven't even spent that long in this level buying the numbers. I beat Hawaluta's level without cheating. Well, I guess is asking the author, is this the thing to do because I don't want to do it, cheating? If it is, then I beat it with cheating. But I did beat Hawaluta's level. It took me 5 hours and change. That is probably one of the more difficult things I have put up with that is not Kaizo. Here's the deal. Last time I tried this level, I didn't actually beat it. So now I'm going to go and try and beat it this time. The problem with this level, in terms of it being convenient to beat, is that it has no checkpoints. It's 3 rooms of nonsense, and I was actually kind of close to beating it last time. And then I cheated my way to see exactly how far away I was, and I wasn't that far. There was one obstacle I have no idea how to do, and I'm probably going to die like 4 times after I get there figuring it out. I'm going to say, I told you in the past, you and Baba didn't... Bring your laptops in to play again? Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh. It's like 2:30 in the morning, you have work tomorrow at 9. Unfortunate. Yeah, timing is timing. Bring a laptop you want to stream, you can play Bob. That'd be cool. Have to let me know when that's gonna happen. I'll wake up earlier for a Fry's Days at some point. Need to wake up earlier, like, next, or Saturday too. Was gonna go drinking with Fistbit on Friday, but there's still a chance of it happening on Saturday, so we'll see what happens. Don't know the password yet. Interesting. Some sort of cloak and dagger thing happening here. There we go. A llama strikes at midnight. I was kind of hoping that I'd retain more muscle memory from last time. Apparently I haven't. Well, maybe apparently I haven't isn't entirely correct. Bring the keyboard so you can use your muscle memory. For Baba Is You, I don't feel Baba Is You needs a lot of muscle memory, but it doesn't hurt to have any sort of memory going into Baba Is You. Oh, crap. On streaming, we should figure it out. It's not working for some reason, yeah. Stream tech is fickle tech, honestly. I actually ran into a problem like that right before stream. I was considering doing something else. I was gonna try to do something off the Squiggle box, and I ran into a problem where one of my capture devices had stopped working. And I was looking at, like, probably 30 minutes to an hour of fixing it if I went for, like, full flatten and, like, scorched earth, try to figure out what my crop stuff is again. I'm just like, I don't want to do any of that. I did figure out what the problem was eventually without going scorched earth, but it still kind of diminished my interest in doing that. Especially when I realized what I was going to play only had PC speaker audio. And very little of it at that. And so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Still want to play it, not sure I want to play it completely sans audio. But it does look interesting. Forgot how that part works. Forgotten your password to your PC due to not using it for 6 months. 8 months? Oh, dang. Made a level within a few minutes last time. Jaw hit the floor because you were so confused. Oh, in Baba? Because, yeah, Baba Is You is easy to confuse yourself in. Like I said, I need to come back to that. Because I've had, like, 3 attempts at doing Baba Is You. Maybe that's what I'll just do next time. Or when I'm out on the East Coast in November. Is it will be Baba Is You or nothing. Okay, nope. That's room 1. Fries, did you stream Baba, so you started Baba? Good choice. I mean, it's a good choice. Baba Is You is probably one of the best puzzle games to come out. Gosh, it's been a long time now, hasn't it? I would say recently, but that's also a lie. It's one of the best puzzle games to come out. It was really good. Changed the dang meta. There have been other important puzzle games, but Baba Is You is pretty high up there. Okay, there we go. And slide, 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 slide. And go right over there. That's kind of cheese, but who cares? Go past those. Go up here. All right, actually, first shotting the second section's a good sign. All right, third section. Ghost rope. There's a part here I don't know how to do near the end, and that's going to get me killed. And I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. You know, the very best place to start. Or I'll fail the rope jump and end up there. Good night. Good night, Louis. Sleep well. Or Luis, good sleep well. Still never understood Baba when he played. Still don't. Baba Is You is definitely a programmer's game. There are certain things that make axiomatic sense if you're a programmer that eventually might make sense if you're not. Oh, actually, that worked out really well. That shouldn't have worked at all, actually, because of the second jump. Muscle memory is coming back here, which is nice, because, like, getting past the first level there in fast time is nice. Like, honestly, I think I'd like this level a lot more if they were just a checkpoint, but I think that's just not a thing Nitrogen's into anymore. Like, Nitrogen's into, like, absurdly long levels with no checkpoints, and that's just his thing now. Like, I think he released a hack that was just basically 5-ish absurdly long levels that did have some nice, bits. Alright, I forgot about that. I could have just rushed it. Like, it has, like, a health system, and that's why it's a little bit... That's why it's remotely fair. But, yeah, I think I saw Risen or someone playing it for a while. But it's a bear, and I don't think Nitrogen ever submitted it for moderation because of that fact. Ah, way too late. Next mission is to make risky playthrough Obra Dinn. Obra Dinn be good. I would be interested in playing that at some point. Co-op. Let's go for co-op. Story. Yeah, no. I do like stories. It's true. I'm familiar with Obra Dinn. I remember reading the blogs when he was working on the dithering algorithms he needed to make that game look the way it was supposed to look. What's up, Legend Curry? How you doing? Yeah, I've had it for years and never played it. In fact, that's what me and Snyder did today, was instead of actually, like, having picked an adventure game either of us were, like, actually excited about, we just looked through my gigantic list of Steam games and played some random crap. Some of which was good. There was a weird, I want to say, Czech game that I'd had. The sequel to their first game. I had it from, like, a Humble Bundle or something. But their first game was free, so we played the first game first. And it was actually pretty nice. It's the... Oh, it's by the people who made Mechanarium, but it has a name that I've already forgotten what it is. It starts with an S, and you're like a little gnome in space. Really, you just look like a kid who's wearing pajamas. But your goal in the first game is to prevent another spaceship from running into your spaceship thing. And the goal of the second game is to get your dog back from the people who stole your dog for arbitrary reasons. Just cute point-and-click adventure game. But very much in the sort of Flash realm. But in all kind of the best ways. Ah, dang it, the lag got me. Doing good, how about me? I'm doing pretty good. I picked a thing to do today that's going to cause me some pain, but I'm going to do it. I've made it... Oh, that's not going to work. Made it to the end a couple times, but not far enough. This would be the second stream of this. But I didn't, like, do a whole stream. I think it took about an hour on this, and then moved on to something else. Moved on to some testing. GF to try Boulder Gate 3 to stress test her PC, knowing she's going to spend 12 hours in custom character customization menu. Oh my. You know, there were some games where, like, quite literally, if they just released the character customization as a game, they probably would have done perfectly fine. Like, City of Heroes. City of Heroes had a fantastic character customizer, and people loved just messing around in that for hours and hours. Came out how the rest of the game went, but, you know, isn't that in-depth? Fair enough, I haven't actually played it. I know I'm pretty much the kind of person who just immediately hits random and calls it a day. Like, I don't even go for, like, hellaciously disturbing like some people do with their character creations. I just go like, yeah, it's okay. I don't care that much. Like, I'm not trying to make exactly me. I'm not trying to make my waifu. I'm just happy to have a character I can play as. I don't really need more than that. There we go. Been longer on Monster Hunter and hated the design when you started the game. Could never do that. Need everything default. Huh. That's the other thing I don't like about this level, is you can't stand still. I mean, you can fight gravity, but that's not quite the same thing. Even Kaizo levels often give you a moment at some points just to chill and wait for things. Actually, what this really makes me want to do is go play some Unreal tournament. Not 2K, just the OG. Some great drum and bass in that soundtrack. Facing Worlds is probably one of the most perfect video game songs of all time. What else did me and Snyder play? We tried a game about going north that didn't really work for either of us. The control scheme wasn't great. And then finally we settled on the bizarrely titled Mind Inside the Thalamus, or something like that. Which is a, you know, first-person puzzle thing where you wander around. Actually, it wasn't bad. We were kind of surprised at how much we liked it. Kind of mixed on Steam, but, you know, it's a walking simulator. It looks okay. The only problem, which was kind of a big problem, was that there were an awful lot of areas that were really dark. And playing on a projector, that really sucks. So, I even turned up the brightness at one point on the projector, because we were kind of afraid to reset the game, because every time we reset the game, it started out at the very beginning cutscene again, which got to be a bit of a drag. DM Conveyor, oh man, I don't even remember the rest of them. I'd either play like Facing Worlds or something else, turn on snipers and just have fun. It was occasionally something would play at LAN parties. We all used the same pirated copy my brother brought back from college a million years ago. And we knew it was the same pirated copy because everyone had the exact same set of skins, including a bizarre dinosaur with a gun mounted to it, like a Triceratops with a gun saddle. I'm certain that one was not stock. Still a fun game, though. I don't think I've ever seen a FPS with so many satisfying guns all in it, with decent gimmicks. Like the plasma rifle having the two-shot mechanic, or the flak cannon having both a shotgun and shrapnel bomb mode. And of course the telelocator. Just the telelocator. And the Redeemer. Like, just basically all the guns in that game are good. Imagine T-Rex holding pistols in his tiny hand. That's not quite what we're looking for, but, you know, I'm happy for you to imagine that, because it's awesome. In fact, now I've kind of got, like, the whole Bandito T-Rex thing in my mind. Like, he's wearing a sombrero and got a, wearing a bandana, robbing a bank. Like, I can see it. The problem, of course, is he can't actually grab the cash. So he's not very good as a bank robber. That part's easier if I just go faster. I don't know why I hesitate. The lag didn't get me there. That's good. One more drop. And the kick. Okay, back to third section. Okay, this one's all about patience. Time and patience. And row. Oh. Alright, is this... No, this is not the part that confuses me. This is the part that confuses me. I don't know what to do there! Yeah, big-ass vest. Exactly, you've got the image. Like, I thought it was a slide jump to avoid the second one, but I don't know now. When was CLDV? CLDC? C, yeah. Saw this level last year. This was earlier this year? When was CLDC? I'm drawing a blank, actually. What's up, Sodium Chloride? How you doing? Yep. It's okay. I got back there. Simply getting back there is a minor victory. What's actually kind of sad is because I had to reset OBS. And I reset my computer because it was probably a good thing. It's been a few months. I've lost the death markers from the last time I did this, so we could have seen much more death markers. This year? I believe it was earlier this year. Like, I'm absolutely certain this one was in this year's, because I pulled the number that I needed. I thought I died for a second. I pulled the number of this entry out of the judging sheet, because I'd forgotten which one it was. I could have pulled out of my own meta file, but it wasn't important enough to do that. And I already had the judging thing open, because I was using it for some other meta purpose. That's not really a meta purpose, just keeping it open to have access to it in case I needed it. Ups and downs, but managing mostly nice. Well, not quite ideal, but decent. Now, the funny thing is, about this, is I could choose to use the mushroom. It was pointed out to me after several tens of minutes that I have this mushroom here, and I could use it. But there's a reason I'm not doing it, and it's not because of stubborn pride. It's a little bit because of stubborn pride. But it's partly because an awful lot of the motions I've gotten used to in this level involve me being small. And I'm not certain that they're going to continue working if I make Mario big. So basically, I would get hit with little recourse. That one was dumb. But like, getting hit there wouldn't help me, is what I'm saying. Okay, getting hit there would, but I'm making my point rather poorly. But basically, I have enough muscle memory about being small at this point that becoming big is not, I think, going to make me have many additional successes. And plus, who knows, maybe there's like a troll at the end that I was unaware of, that I've forgotten about, that makes it so I actually need to be big. I don't think that's actually the case, but, you know, it could be the case. Or it gives me the latitude at the very end of the level to just have the ability to actually make that choice, as opposed to having been forced out of it earlier. So at that end, I kind of like the option, but I don't think it's necessary. Especially because the third section, there's no benefit to having a mushroom as far as I can tell. Gotta go fast. Yeah, that section is easier if you go fast. Makes sense? Yeah. Thank you. It's good to know it actually was sensical. What else is new? I mean, honestly, very little else is new, because quite literally, I went to sleep yesterday. Right after, not right after, but a few hours after playing Deltarune, and that's basically been what I've been up to for the last, like, chunk of this week, when I wasn't busy with something work-related. I was talking to another coworker today about a long-standing problem we've been having. And I'm like, wait, why don't we just not? Like, quite literally, we could just choose not to do this. We could instead go around the that particular data location and actually choose a different system of record. And I'm kind of convinced it's the way to go now. Then I talked to my boss about it. He's like, yeah, that'll work, except we still need that value in the right place for 3 other things. But I do like the idea of getting rid of that now, because we don't like the other system of record. Current blockade has no benefit. Yup. Exactly. I mean, to be fair, being big would have gotten me through there without dying. But I don't think most of the big problems I'm having are related to getting hit. And if they are, it's because I'm doing it wrong, and then I'll be thrown off my next cycles anyway. Resonate with that. Yep. But it's actually important. We need to get off this system, this kind of database-y thing at some point. It's not really a database, but it's a database to us, and that's not ideal. It's also slow, clunky, and tends to break. And the whole reason we're having this problem is because it's not accepting a write that it should be accepting consistently. I don't know why. 30 data source systems? Oh, I believe it. I believe it. In our case, we really only have, like, well, we have a bunch of different data sources, but directly under our control are 2 reasonable database, or mostly just a Postgres, a Redis, and this, which I cannot mention the name of on stream because it would tell people too much about it. It is not, in fact, SQL. That's what makes it even worse. In fact, I don't think its backend is SQL at all. But if I can't make good speculation about how it actually works without revealing too much. Aside from, I think it mostly uses serialized COM objects to communicate with everything, except for its new API, REST API, which is a pile of interestingness. Maybe one day when I'm done working for this company, I'll let you guys know about the interesting experience with this particular product. But for the time being, as long as I'm in this industry, I am not divulging it. You can't land on that. Yeah, we weren't interacting with it through a DLL with C# bindings, or, well, really just any .NET binding. You can do all sorts of nonsense in .NET. But I was told explicitly, no, you are not allowed to decompile and reverse engineer it, because that would make our lives too easy. That's the only reason for the longest time we had a Windows VM in our entire setup. We still have one for interacting with the product through its front end, but we try to avoid it and try to discourage people from doing it. So, but I've had to do it recently, which was annoying, and I didn't actually remember how to get into it, so I ended up grabbing one of my older work laptops and just reviving it for a little bit to RDP in, because I was trying to debug a thing. And I'm still kind of trying to debug a thing, so that's why the laptop's still in the middle living room. Yeah, okay, being able to take a hit there probably would help. You're intrigued. I can't tell you about it. It tells too much. It would reveal too much about my company. I value my privacy. But I can tell you it is literally a piece of garbage. You know, one of those line of business pieces of garbage. Imagine, if you will, it's a bit like Oracle. People love Oracle. Some people. They're the wrong sorts of people. It's actually wrong to love Oracle. It's in fact a deadly sin to love Oracle. But there's some people who cannot be dissuaded. This is kind of like that, though it is not Oracle. But it is the kind of thing that a business picks up because, you know, nobody ever got fired for buying IBM. I can't believe that worked. But rest assured, it is crap. Again, I wish I was in a level where I could actually, like, look over a chat between jumps occasionally, as opposed to only on death. Then pause, then go, then go, then pause, then wait for the shell, then kill the Koopa, and enter the door. Salespeople should be shot on... Yeah. Gonna sleep. Alright, sleep well, Zuccotti. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna change topics now because it's raising my blood pressure. I literally feel it. Raising my blood pressure. I don't want that. That was way too early, but it worked out. That was way too early and it didn't work out. Yeah, I realized that October's coming up. Man, this year has actually gone by pretty quick compared to the last few. Definitely need to put more pressure and get more of my queue done. Because I definitely want to do some, like, really random stuff in October. I've got some, like, horror-adjacent games I've been wanting to play that have been sitting literally on my table since last year. The table that holds up the projector. I was doing some cleaning. I'm like, oh, these are still here. Yeah, Shivers. Yeah, that's an option. Which is like Sierra's answer to Myst, except it's spooky. Copy of The Seventh Guest. Wouldn't mind messing around with like Gregory Horror Show again, or doing like, what are those games called? Mansion of Hidden Souls, both of them. Because there's two of them. And most people only ever play the Sega CD one, and I'm kind of curious to see if the Saturn one is any good at all. And I've never actually used the Saturn flash card on stream, and that'd be kind of fun. Really the disc replacement thing, but you know what I mean. It's a flash card. Actually, I guess it's not a flash card. It uses... Oh, SSDs use flash underneath, right? They technically use flash cells at some level. No, I'm not sure. I've been nerd sniped. But yeah. Need a little to work through the queue a little more first. Got Equinox coming up soon. And I wasn't certain what I was going to do today, so I could have thrown Equinox in the list. Probably scheduled with Faro. Because Faro's schedule is pretty easy to work with, because he's basically in the same time zone. If not, just one over from me. Whereas other people are in way different time zones. Like Luis in, Louis in, Japan Standard Time, which I always forget if it's like 16 or 18 off of Pacific. And whatever the easternmost time zone of Brazil is, I have no idea what it's called, but apparently in the southern hemisphere they have different names for these things, and I should have just gone. Dang it. So I've been at this one for about 30 minutes now, I think. And I've seen the important part of the level once. I'm convinced I'm getting better. I do love that strat, though. It looks so good when I pull it off. The funny thing is, you just go at the first instance you really can. You don't have to think about it. Oh, yeah, I also got a copy of Parasite Eve. I never played Parasite Eve when it was culturally relevant. I did see a lot of copies of it at Blockbuster, which I could have sold to Funko Land and actually made a decent profit, but I couldn't afford them. Didn't have the seed money to actually make that arbitrage work out. Bit of a bummer, really. But that Blockbuster used to be godsend for finding, like, good, just, like, reasonably priced, used PS1 games. Of course, they're Blockbuster quality, so, you know, and you get what you pay for, but for the most part, the games worked really well. Alright. Yep, PlayStation. It was a good console. That was the console I had for that generation. I had a Super Nintendo for the prior one. And in fact, was given the opportunity to choose between a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo 64. And I chose the Super Nintendo, and I do not regret that decision. I do regret that decision. But I got flashcards for pretty much every console I care about now. Or the ability to play modded things on it now. Like, I don't know, I'd have to like really invest and get into like Neo Geo or something, or Jaguar, or TurboGrafx or something like that to care for more stuff. But I don't have any nostalgia for those systems. And aside from like a handful of games, there's nothing that's like must play on those. Like, I think the best argument for the Atari Jaguar is probably Tempest 2000, and like, Tempest is fine and all, but like, it's Tempest. You've played Tempest. You know what you're getting into with Tempest. If you want to enjoy Tempest 2000, just pull up the soundtrack on YouTube and listen to it. That's the best way to enjoy Tempest 2000. Unless you're actually into Tempest, in which case, you know, you probably should, I don't know, emulate it or something. Was your first? Your dad had borrowed one when you visited and played Spyro, and then got the console and shit ton of games. Games for too adult for you because you couldn't read English, but it was fun. And the memory cards had a lot of saved files, for example, LOTR. Okay, nice. Wow. Yeah, memory cards was a problem because I wasn't used to that concept. And so when we first got the PlayStation, we didn't actually have... I didn't own any games for it. We actually had borrowed a copy of Final Fantasy VII. I had borrowed a copy of Final Fantasy VII from a friend. And we didn't have any memory cards. And so we played a non-real way in, and then eventually someone turned it off and we had to start over. But we went and got a used crappy video memory card. I still have that one somewhere, I think. Yeah. I also have soft modding access to my PS1 in case I want to play an import or something, which is kind of cute. Tony Hacks is really cool if you have the ability to put a save game on a PS1 memory card, which requires the PS5 or PS3 to PS1 adapter thingy, which I do have one of now for that reason. Thought maybe I'd use it for something else, but I haven't gotten around to that. There's something else I want to do with it, but would require a decent amount of legwork from me before it would actually work. Dang it! Yeah, they found a bunch of buffer overflows in various, save game handling routines in various games. So one of them was Tony Hawk, some Pro Skater, I couldn't tell you. Crash 2 and 3 also had a similar exploit, and I got Crash 2 for that. But my Alien PlayStation has a really hard time getting Crash 2 to start. So I'm a little bit worried about using that in general. I think the next time I use it, it will be most likely to play an import. Because I have a proper disc of this game, and I am so going to use it, and I don't want to buy a Japanese Nintendo, or Japanese PlayStation to do it. I have a Japanese Nintendo. I don't need to buy a Japanese Nintendo. I have two Japanese Nintendos, in fact. An AV Famicom and a conventional Famicom. Use the AV one more often. Do I know Nintendo of Japan? How you doing, Salkry? I hope I got that right. I'm bad at names. No, I just own a Nintendo that came from Japan. You have Japanese Nintendo at home. Excellent. Yeah, the last thing I played on the Nintendo was the Super Mario Bros. 2 hack that was Yellow Submarine, and it was awesome. Would recommend if you are a fan of the Beatles or Mario 2. Some well-designed levels, a little bit of things that were a little too similar to the original, but ultimately forgivable given how much work they put into it. Ah. Okay. I apologize for not reading chat as often because I'm too busy standing on slopes. And I hate slopes. We have Slope Muncher at home, kids. All your friends had PSX as a kid, and they all had them modded so you could play copy games. You had N64 with a few games, but you loved the console, your console more than they did. Fair. I think the problem with copied games and flashcards is it's too easy to just be, okay, well, I played a little bit of that, I guess I'm done now. There's no value, and frequently you're just goofing around, playing random ass games, and not really committing to any of them. At least that's how I found flashcards to work. Fistbit brought over his Game Boy flashcard at one point, and Super Game Boy, and we messed around with that for a bit. Me and him and Snyder. And honestly, he's like, why do you keep picking weird pirate games? Pick Mario Land 2, it's good! No, I want to play the weird pirate games. Those are fun. For some values of fun. There's one in there that I still think is one of the absolutely bizarrest things I've played. It's kind of, you have to wander a maze to get certain things. But instead of, monsters that kill you, there's fast food. And if the fast food gets you, instead of killing you, you become fat. And if you get too fat, you die. But inside the maze, there are gyms where you can work out and lose weight. But if you work out too much, you have a heart attack and you die. The whole thing is absolutely bizarre. But oddly compelling. oddly compelling. It's inexplicable, really. It's one of those Senshin games, too, and so you don't expect it to be, like, anything beyond painful and bad. But this surprisingly works. Blind chicken finds a kernel every once in a while, I suppose. Also played briefly, and played might be in quotes, Pokemon. The oh-so-brilliant hack of Pokemon, where everything is replaced with drug references. Because that was in his ROM set, too, and when you see something like that, you at least have to try it. Heard Pain? Senshin? Senshin? So there's a, or was, possibly still is, actually, you never know with these people. A Japanese, or a Chinese publisher, developer, somethinger of Pirate NES and Game Boy, I guess. I don't know if they did any SNES games. But they made a lot of, like, very bad games. The most famous of one, which you may have heard of, called Little Red Hood. AVGN did an episode on Little Red Hood's congenial badness. And, yeah, the reason those are even in the country is because the Red Eye imported a giant box of them when no one else wanted them and ended up ripping them. Or dumping them, I suppose that's the right verb. There was originally a plan for the Red Eye and Sardis and a few others to go through and review all of them and release the ROMs in time, which fell through as everyone lost interest and got busy with life, because they were all, like, before college peoples at that time. Why would you do that to Pokemon? Because someone out there thinks drug references is really funny. Probably someone who is somewhere between the ages of 14 and 17? Possibly older, you never know. And it's really easy to change strings in video games, depending upon how they're implemented. I want to say Pokemon I think Pokemon might even use ASCII. Like, it might be trivial to hex edit text in Pokemon, even when that was released, which was probably fairly early on in the whole Pokemon hacking life cycle. It's like, the Pokemon people have a pretty good tool chain if you want to modify Pokemon. Like, it's a disassembled ROM with comments and all that. Like, it's actually pretty convenient. Exactly. But it's funny. I think you even might be able to get that one on romhacking.net. Maybe? Well, it might be one of those ones that's so old that's just left alone, even though it's really stupid. You know what's interesting is when I'm successful, these don't actually take all that long. Said but. Yes. But is a word with a glorious ring, a true universal euphonious thing. Engenders, embraces, and chases a blues, the very best word for the whole but to use. Jeremy, Hillary, Boob, Fut. Since we were talking about Yellow Submarine, I just couldn't quite resist. This level's like Limbo? Like the game Limbo with the kid and the darkness and all that, or... We looked at that one. Snyder was surprised that I hadn't played it. It's been in my Steam thing forever. I'm like, I probably got it in a Humble Bundle or for like 10 cents in a Steam sale and probably forgot about it. Which is just how it works on Steam when you have like hundreds of games. In fact, I had even more, like looking at Humble Bundle stuff, I hadn't actually gotten into Steam yet. Probably should like write a script to figure out which ones of those I probably should put in Steam and which ones I should leave alone, because it's a process. Because I thought I had Leisure Suit Larry in there, but I did not in fact have Leisure Suit Larry in there. We did consider briefly Leisure Suit Larry. Might still play it, you never know. It's an interesting game from a very different time. Of course, the most important thing to remember is that it's making fun of Larry. No, like hell. Play it on your Xbox. Sad to play it soon. Yeah. Oh, good old Xbox. 360 was a pretty good console. Xbox One is okay, I just don't spend enough time playing modern games to actually use it. I presume you're saying yes to Limbo, the game, not Leisure Suit Larry. Because the Leisure Suit Larry games that are on Xbox are terrible. I mean, unless you really just want a, like, the man show sort of experience. Which, yeah, you want to do that, it's whatever. It's your prerogative. The other games are, like, legitimately decent adventure games. Mostly. Though they are very dated in their attitude and appearance, which is no surprise. When was the last time you saw someone wear a leisure suit non-ironically? Or at all? Oh, the vast majority of Steam being randos, yeah. Now, it's hard to sort through. I was actually tempted when it came to the request a game thing to make it so people could see my entire, like, Steam library. And I got partway down work into that project and then kind of got distracted. Other projects take priority, of course, sometimes. Okay, here we are. I have no clue what to do here. I've gotten here like 3 or 4 times, and I have no clue legitimately what to do. You can't make that jump in one go. What's after is procced on the wrong side of things, I think. Yeah, you have to go, like, really fast, I guess? I'm still not sure. Biggest itch is your itch.io library. Got bundles of several K games. Oh, definitely. What's up, Mangor? What's up, Cap? How you doing? The ever-informative exclamation point. Yes. Looks type and doable. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to do there still. I think just go fast is probably the right answer, rather than, like, skimp on time and try to milk it, but we'll try that next time. And thank you for the good luck. I'm confident I'll get this eventually. Like, that's an irritating obstacle, but, like, if I do this right, it doesn't take more than a minute to get over there. Like, this level isn't that long in terms of actual time. It's just a matter of all the Marios that don't make it along the way. So the more consistent I am, the more likely I am to finish this. Soon. I am thinking I might have to get up and take a break in a second. Hydrate a bit more during the adventure game playing than I probably should have. It's kind of a warmish day, and I felt that cold water was nice. Because cold water is, in fact, very nice. Snyder came over. He clearly was in need of cold water. Pop. Like, you can see I can get to the 3rd section in just a little... nuts. So I can get to the 3rd section sometimes, is the end of that sentence. I can't believe I keep messing up that slide jump. It's not that hard. I guess that's the other downside, is whenever you lose a long run... Whenever you lose a long run, you're just kind of stuck with it. Yeah, I don't think any of the CLDC judges got through this legitimately. I have to look, actually, I'm not sure. Like, honestly, I think this would just be better with checkpoints. I don't really see a need for this. Especially with how tricky it is to figure out what to do in certain sections. Like, this, it's that particular exclamation point is inscrutable in terms of what you have to do next. Okay, so there we go. He kicks the shell, we bop him, we do the next slide. You know, it's never that slide I mess up. It's only ever this one. Maybe because it's a lot shorter. Yeah, I don't need to milk that slide nearly as much as I think I do. Ah! My first jump didn't take. Yeah, but I wanted to approach this while I was relatively fresh, as opposed to at the very end of the evening, because I kind of felt like it would help me remain consistent. Nothing more obnoxious than having to redo 5 minutes of tough platforming just to get back to the obstacle you're unsure of how to clear and give it another look / attempt. Oh, yeah. There was one hack I was moderating. It was a remoderation of an older hack. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to do this one thing, this one jump in this section that had really high gravity. And the answer was you had to, like, be very careful and never cape hover, I think. Not to mention just the general jankness of slopes. But yeah, I think that's one of the cases during moderation where we're just like, ah, nuts to this. I need save states because I'm not going to be able to do this consistently. Feels so very long ago now. I don't even remember the name of the hack. Something castle, I forget. Yeah, I don't even remember anymore. I only had 5 levels, but each of the 5 levels was pretty long. But it's a style of things it's a style of SMW that some people really like. I mean, you've got like the end gauntlets of, say, Hyper 6 that are pretty popular for various reasons. Like Luigi's Adventure, I think, is something that people like. Some people. Hawuluta makes things that take time like this. If you're looking for more of that in your life. Yeah, don't jump over that. That actually helps. Okay, back to this. Guess what's nice is this is globally timed, so, like, there's no surprises in this section. Okay, I jumped way too early on that one. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Oh no! I panicked. Okay. What does CLDC mean? CLDC stands for Chocolate Level Design Contest. And so this is the contest where everyone would break out all the stops and do amazing ASM things and try to make their levels as pretty as possible. Have weird gimmicks. What's up, Hawuluta? How you doing? In fact, I just mentioned your name in terms of making really long levels. But the thing about CLDC is it's basically the same contest as QLDC, minus the weirdness. And of course, since every contest since QLDC is now QLDC, there were some entries that were QLDC in this particular contest. So this level in particular doesn't show off too much in the way of like interesting mechanics, chocolate mechanics, aside from like the on-off ropes and the programmable potobos, or disco waffles, or what do you want to call them. But I think those are both off-the-shelf ASMs. This background is pretty cool, though. Not exactly sure how he pulled it off. Unsure to clear part is particularly problematic due to the phenomenon known as creator blindness. If you know how the obstacle is meant to be cleared, you think your players will know and not signal. Yeah, it happens a lot. Not just in SMW, but in like puzzle design. Because you're the one who knows how a puzzle works. You don't have to figure out individual steps. You can just do them mechanically. And that can lead to problems where people look at your puzzles like, I think it's this, and then they rat hole forever on a theory that makes, to you, no sense. But to the person making it, it was perfectly logical based upon what you're seeing. It's a bit like the Pepe Silva thing. Someone not on your wavelength may figure it out easy. Or someone on your wavelength, but someone not on your... Yeah, exactly. Well, not to mention, there's certain things the puzzle community now just expects. Like, I'd be curious to see what the puzzle equivalent of a QLDC would actually end up being. Because nowadays, like, most of them are pretty well polished and people do reasonable things. Aside from Galactic Trendsetters, who still have a little bit of that weird tinge to them. I cannot believe I keep falling off here. I had this room on lock a minute ago. Several minutes ago. I think I might need to just take a short hand break dehydration break after the next attempt. I was contemplating, but then I saw the question. I'm like, I need to answer that first. It's a very important question to answer. And I already have to splice this together, so it's not as big of a deal to have a break in the middle. Because when putting them on YouTube, it's really convenient if I don't have to edit them severely. Because I always just put up the raw playthroughs if I can. Maybe like a few instances where I've done non-trivial editing, which is just like, I took out some quiet bits for loading, or mostly just taking a bit off the front and a bit off the back and calling it a day. The one exception is for EcoQuest 2 when I put it up. I did some silly editing using the Jurassic Park hold music, which I thought was fun. But that's about the extent of like real editing I'm doing on VODs. And that reminds me, I figured out what happened with the Undertale or the Deltarune sound levels. So when I initially tried to set that up, I used Underrune as a way to like test my audio, and turns out that's a terrible idea. Undertale's a lot louder than Deltarune, and so that's why it was so low. Is because I set it up to a reasonable audio level for Undertale. Turned out to not be a reasonable level for Deltarune. I did raise it up a little bit, but it was definitely not enough. And only looking at the VODs did I figure out exactly what happened later. So I might try to fix that in post. To make a good original puzzle game precisely because of creator blindness. You need good playtesters with a great variety of mindsets to help determine what's being communicated and what isn't. Yup. Well, especially when you want to have like an audience of people who can appreciate it. Like simple puzzle games, like the kinds you see on iPhones that are just like, here, slide some blocks around, connect 3, are perfectly fine because they're not terribly complicated. But once you get into like more complicated territories like adventure games or things like The Witness. Like, Jonathan Blow's really good at that shit. Coming up with good puzzles that require some good thought and only use certain basic mechanics, but using them and exploiting them to their full extent. I really do enjoy that class of puzzle game, and there's not that many of them. No, there's a few I probably should try. I know people have spoken highly of sort of a spiritual successor to The Witness, called like Taji or something. I think I already have it because it was on sale, but I haven't played it yet. Alright. Well, some progress is being made. Okay. Back here. No! I lost momentum by standing on the rope. I should have just gone. Alright, like I said, I need to have a shorthand / dehydration break. I will be right back. The Witness was very, in your personal opinion? No. Is that most of the puzzle mechanics are well communicated, especially in the lack of word-based tutorials? No. There's always something that doesn't click like it's meant to, yes. For you, as the audio puzzles, had no idea audio could be a clue, considering visuals are used literally everywhere else. Yeah, I had a similar problem with some of the environmental puzzles. There was one where I couldn't see the puzzle due to having too dim of a screen. Because I was playing it on my projector. And due to the fact that the bulb was in the process of dying hellaciously, that was right before I bought a new projector. Because I had already blown 2 bulbs, and it was getting ridiculous. Like, they dim so quickly, the OEM bulbs. This bulb's held up really nicely, actually. Considering I still think it's not properly grounded. But, yeah, I was doing this stupid thing where I would go and take screenshots and then look at them on a different computer so that I could actually see it. That was kind of important. Also, I would jiggle the quality up and down. I found that was actually helpful for some puzzles, where having high quality actually made it harder to solve the puzzles, or going into a lower quality made things more blocky, and so you could actually see certain things more easily. But yeah, I can totally see that. But the thing about the Witness is you didn't need to solve every puzzle necessarily unless you wanted to. You could achieve a really good balance of that game without doing everything. Which for a lot of puzzle games isn't really true. Like for Braid, you kind of need to solve the whole thing to really enjoy it. Or even Myst. Myst doesn't require you to get all of the assorted colored pages before you can actually move on to the end game. Something like 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5. And in fact, you get a bad ending if you provide all the pages to one of the brothers. Why did I even try that? So close to another attempt. Yeah, that's another thing I appreciate in puzzle games, where you don't necessarily need to 100%. You can enjoy the game and get an awful lot out of it without 100%ing it. But I tend to want 100%, so it also doesn't matter too much. Yeah, I still haven't 100% of The Witness. I got the any percent ending, I think. And that was enough for me for the time being, just because of how clunky it was to play at the time. My opinion would probably be different now that I can play it on a Mac, where I can see the screen. And not have it melt my lap. Which are all nice features of the games I generally appreciate. Still want to play Myst on stream at some point. Need to find a copy that works with my thing, because the copy I was using before, the CD kind of the manual kind of melted in the CD, and I think that makes it not read very well. It installed, but it didn't work. And I'm certain that it should, because the requirements for Myst are pretty low. Someday you'll find all the environmental puzzles, or at least take on the caves, yeah. I mean, that's the thing about some of these things, like, I don't ever want to do certain aspects ever again. Like, Mario Odyssey would be fun, but I'd want to try it 100%, because I never finished Darker Side. Right. But I don't want to do the jump rope section ever again. No, I pressed forward at the last second. If I'd let it ride, it would have worked. I didn't get enough slide off that anyway. It's almost like I want to keep playing this level or something. Yeah, list is too long to do those things right now. Maybe I'll do Myst. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. I'll just play Myst. If I do something tomorrow. If I do something tomorrow, it's going to be off my weird stream idea list, and it's probably going to involve the Squiggle Box. There's a game I really want to play, but I need to modify the mic settings to work properly for it. Because if I'm going to have to play with PC speaker, y'all need to hear the PC speaker, and I really don't have a good capture solution for the PC speaker. Like, because of the way my mic kind of cuts off audio once I fall below a threshold, PC speaker is below that threshold, so it just kind of cuts off. Which is a bummer, and no one ever pointed out to me, which is kind of interesting in and of itself. Oh, I could have survived that. Because, like, the intro to Ernie's Big Splash cut off every time I played it. Because I usually just want to let people listen to it, but it just doesn't work. I didn't only realize this after watching the VOD. But it's the PC speaker. It's to be expected to be a little jank in general. Of course, if I've ever played Xenon 2 Mega Blast, y'all will be able to hear the PC speaker because it'd be the constant noise of me hitting the space bar and breaking my keyboard, which is why I buy them in bulk. One of the 2 times us kids actually broke a PC peripheral. One was because Xenon 2 Mega Blast requires hitting enter really fast to shoot a reasonable number of bullets, because unlike an awful lot of other bullet games, it doesn't actually cap the number of bullets you can have on screen. At least not in any meaningful sense of the term. So you can actually, like, have hundreds, I feel like, of bullets on screen, but the biggest issue is you need to press enter to get one every single time. And that's a quick way to break your enter key. So the more you know. The other one was playing TIE Fighter with a mouse, and you just can't play TIE Fighter with with a mouse. You can if it's a ball mouse. You cannot if it's a laser mouse. I tried. Game requires a joystick or a ball mouse. It is impossible to play otherwise. You need the momentum from the ball to dogfight. That's too early. That was sketchy, but it worked. Okay, here we are. No! I just want to actually try it. I still haven't actually tried the go fast strategy yet. Unicomp still makes a modern Model M? What's up, Tick5? How you doing? I don't think I'd want a Model M for that. I mean, I think it'd be a waste of a keyboard, honestly. But, like, if I was going to play Xenon 2 Mega Blast, I'd find a way to up the refresh rate just so I can hold down spacebar so I can spam bullets to my heart's content, because it's just not very good on any part of the keyboard or me. You know? Ain't young the way I was back when I could just mash buttons all day long. That game's still awesome, though. The only game I've ever heard that had good PC speaker music that was actually during gameplay. Good, of course, is subjective. The Amiga version has way better music because they played it off a CD, and it was actually good. But for a PC speaker rendition of an actual song, because it was an actual song, they had some DJ cook-up for them, it's surprisingly good. Good evening. Not bad. Nice. Nice. I've been at this for about an hour now. If I took a save state at the beginning of this, I'd already be done. But I haven't. I've been doggedly persistent about no tools to actually clear it. Probably to my detriment, to be honest. Okay, we're back. No! That's really tight. Like, basically, I need to get on that and off of it instantly. Either that or that's not the way you do that part. Did the regrab for a different part of the level at that point, which was bad. So yeah. What else is new? Nah, nothing terribly interesting is new. Went to PAX, still need to go and do my post-PAX report thing. I guess that's probably something I should spend some time on, dude. Quite literally all the PAX stuff is sitting over there in a big pile in the left-hand corner of the room right now. Need to figure out how I want to put that all together, and I'll probably make like a spreadsheet and then make it so I can share it with myself, so I can make a whole bunch of tabs and make that happen. Talk about the general structure and layout of PAX as well, because like they did something interesting but not very good by dividing it between the two halls, and Nintendo's use of the space was in retrospect was really lousy, and in fact I think is one of the things that caused so much lining up. Because, like, the line from the Nintendo section was an hour and a half long when I went on Monday, which I kind of thought would be when it wouldn't be so bad. But I was wrong. But the reason for it being so long was because apparently the fire marshal said they can only let so many people in at a time, which makes sense. But the way they chose to lay out their convention hall, they could have used some of the other space in the other half of the convention center they rented. So I don't really know why they didn't just spread out a bit more and not have so many issues with lines, but... Because, you know, that's an option. Because especially the things that most of the people were lining up for weren't the games. Like, the game demos were fast and well executed, and people just kind of ran through them. The queuing for that was really nice, but like the queuing for everything else, like making a Lego Yoshi or getting your picture taken with assorted things took a lot longer. Having those somewhere else would probably have been a good idea. Rather than having them mixed in with everything else. And, you know, they rented the entirety of that convention center, all, you know, the upper floors and lower floors. So the upper floors were just used for lines, and probably, like, I don't know, keeping stuff in storage that they need. But they also had all of the lower floors, too, and yeah, just they had so much space and didn't use very much of it. Just the main expo floor hall type thing. But maybe that's because, like, they have a roadshow sort of aspect to it, where they just pack the whole thing up and unpack it in one place. Kind of like circuses in their tents, where it's all pretty much already, like, ready-made, ready to go. Don't want to have to spend too much time thinking and dithering over which rooms to put which things in. Just, is the space big enough to fit our big-ass circus? Okay, cool. We'll just have the circus now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I will say they were really good at line control. Like, that was the consistently, like, good parts. They managed the lines very well. They had people watching in the right places and signaling the right things and getting everybody moved around correctly. But it would have been ideal to have less of that if they could have gotten away with it. Okay. No. No, why am I off? I'm off cycle. I'm massively off cycle. There we go. Okay. Yeah, going for it there helped. No! I had like 3 frames to jump and I couldn't make it. Maybe just jump. Maybe just try to do one big ass long jump there and hope that I have the momentum for it. Maybe I'll try that next time. It's like there's just not enough time. And that's like the second to last obstacle too. Like quite literally I'm spending all this time blundering my way back there to just wonder what the hell I'm supposed to do there. I didn't think I'd make that jump. Like, if I was consistent enough, like, all of this wouldn't take that much time. I think it takes about a minute to get back there in actual real time, if I don't fuck up. But, that being said, there's a lot of opportunity to fuck it up. Nice to know I can just stand on the ground there, though. That actually helps a bit. Okay. I can't believe that worked. I don't know what to do now. And there's another exclamation point. Well. Nope. I understand now and I hate it. I don't know if I want to finish this now. That last part is going to be brutal. Like, I don't think you can lose your speed at that point. I think quite literally you cannot stop and think. You just have to keep going until the end of the level at that point. Or maybe you can do a slide off that. I don't know. Oh, oops. Like, I do not know what to make of that. Strats. Kind of sucks the area you can look the least half or that deep in the level. Yup. Again, if there were just like a single checkpoint in any part of this level would be really good and fun. But it's just kind of sloggy. And for someone who isn't me. Especially that last part, like, I do not know what I'm supposed to do there, and like, the mushrooms no help. Like, quite literally, it's just a mechanical thing, and the exclamation point just adds insult to injury, I think, because like, that's no demonstration of that ever. Maybe that's something other people know about? There's an exclamation point, you just need to slide and keep going? I don't think that's like a Kaizo thing, though. I didn't trust myself. I trusted myself too much. Like, I was really hoping that was the last thing from my vague recollection of the level. I might turn on cheats and go see so I have a chance at figuring out what the heck I'm supposed to do. It's a case where if like Xander's site was still up, I'd probably go pull up the level numbers and go figure out what I'm supposed to do. But it's not, so that's, well, his site's still up, but he doesn't update it, so he doesn't have these. If I was doing an older CLDC, it would work. Warning, this part is dangerous, or something. It means danger in Morsel's levels. I mean, that's helpful, but aren't all of Morsel's levels incredibly dangerous? Like, what's the point of having an exclamation point in one of those? Oh, I'm way late. Ugh. Like, I do want to claim this one legit. There's only been one other one I've had to cheat on. I would prefer not to cheat on this one. But I'm vaguely tempted to go grab the save stateful one and save state in that last room. Just like, dear lord. Perfect timing on that, too. Happened right during the transition, so nobody noticed. Yeah, this helps a little bit. Purple. Calms you down. Oop. You notice the lag? Fair enough. It's not something a lot of other people would notice. Because it does hang the whole game for a second. Purple, the color of Ultra's Abominations. Oh, one of them. I think usually green, but I could be wrong on that front. Ugh. I might turn on cheats just to go look at that section to have a better wherewithal of what to do. Because I legitimately just don't know, and I'm getting tired of getting there, figuring out one thing, and then having to get all the way back to figure out another thing. Like, other sections of this were incredibly readable once you understood what you were looking at, but that is not. That part is not readable. Yeah, nice try. I want one more try at it legit, and then I'm gonna put on something and go see the end, or see how much of that there is. Because I think the right answer probably is just get slide momentum, but slide momentum off of such a short slope doesn't seem like it would have a lot of value, because the slope's approximately the same length as one of those half ones. And I think you need more space to get speed. Usually save state for actually get something unintelligible. Yeah. I'm just so bad at using save states. Like, this would be a good level to do it because there's no music transitions, it has instant retry. Like, there's a lot of things going for it to use save states. But I'd have to bust out the other card, and that'd be a little bit annoying. Not a lot of bit annoying, just a little bit annoying. Especially after all this. The good news is this doesn't use SA1, so I could have save states. It also wouldn't have the SA1 problems that the save stateful card has. We've got that going for us. Interdimensional fun dispensers. For certain values of fun. I knew I screwed that up the moment I jumped. Okay. I want to have some no, I want one more try. Wonder how long, as a ROM hack races level, this would have taken some people. But let's say Louis was trying to clear this. I wonder how long it'd take him. I'm certain to get this part down pretty quick. Don't like how the model looks? Sure. I think that they, the person who submitted this also noticed that they were in the SMW style, so it didn't look quite right. But you have to pull up the character thing. Also, I'm pretty sure I have the powered up state in the HTML or on the website. A few of these I need to go and fix. Looks off, not gonna lie. That's fair. I mean, the problem is Mario's ratios are a little bit weird. And so trying to make things that look good as Mario, you kind of have to work into the Mario styling. I'm losing my consistency. I had that part, and now I don't have that part, and it's bugging me. In fact, I'm dying earlier and earlier in the level now. Okay. Just chill, Pat. Do not... It's a video game. We do not yell at video games, except in success. There we go. Consistency restored. Restored. Restored, why not? That's a perfectly good word. Adequately cromulent. SMB2 style. Oh, interesting. I don't know if I'd say I'd go with that, but I can see it. SMB2 also has that kind of problem where, like, they want to have the big bobbly heads on the relatively small characters, too. Like, Luigi's head always looked weird to me in SMB2. Small Luigi. Regular-sized Luigi's fine. I think it just took him a while to really master that particular style. Not to mention the hackiness of Doki Doki Panic. Wouldn't say anime, but that's too generic of a description. That's also fair. Anime means a lot of things. Okay. I didn't think I had the momentum there. I really should have carried through. You have to turn there. Okay, so you have to turn there. And there's two again, and I don't think you can actually make that in the time allotted. Okay, sliding doesn't help. Alright. I want to go see what's over there. That doesn't work because I'm already up there. There we go. Alright, I can do this one-handed so I can enjoy my beverage. Like, I feel it's got to be the last section right there. Like, sliding was not the answer. Yeah, I can get through this a lot faster just by being good. In fact, just having always cape could just mean I can just kind of go through these sections pretty quick, and I'll just use his water to save me if I need to. Because like I did this last time. I went through the level so I could see what was actually ahead, but I don't remember what it was. To an adequate degree. Look at me not caring. I got a cape and not a care in the world. I think the doors are more friendly than you might think, making it a little bit, even a little bit weirder. Okay. So, we know how to do all this nonsense. The problem... Okay, we keep the slide momentum to get through... Okay, we're not quite there yet, but we keep the slide momentum to get through this obstacle. Clearly, you have to lose the slide momentum because you have to gain verticality there that you cannot gain on these slopes, because you can only really go against the opposing to go upward here. So you jump over that, you hit that, you go up onto this thing, and then you're here. You know, I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm done. Like, I have no idea how to do this part. Like, the sliding worked for that part. You're not gonna get enough slide momentum off of this to really slide, I don't think. So then I have to hit these two really quickly, jump onto that in time, jump to this, jump to that, and then that, which I wouldn't have been able to see, and then this section here, where I have to get the one tile here. Yeah, I think I'm done. Like, I've done my due diligence, I got far enough, I really just don't want to do this. Like, the only other option would be, like, save state it, but I think I've spent enough time on this level. Basically, I just don't want to go through the first two sections to grind out this section. And I hate using save states, so I'm calling it here. I could have done this last time, but I didn't. So how about no? I'm gonna be honest, if it had had a checkpoint, I think I would have been happy to grind that out and figure it out. But just spending a minute and change, if I'm playing perfectly, getting back there every time, just, no, that's not useful, that's not respectful of my time. So, yeah, I'm done. Cool concept, like the backgrounds. The setups are cool, like, once you actually master it, but it's so hard to get mastery because you have to wait so long for every obstacle. I think if it had just been the first two sections, I really would have liked this level, even without a checkpoint. But that third section is just not for me. And that's, I think, all there is left to say about that for me.